back. Back. Appreciate anyone who comes back. I think when I stopped the show for that quick, weird interruption, as you guys would say over there, my mate needed a ride to work. He missed his ride. And I don't know if the UK has the Uber over there. That's a real big thing over here in the States. The Uber is basically like a taxi cab company, but you get it through an app on your phone, and the app just sends out signals who needs a ride, but there's no taxi cab. The taxi driver, the taxi cab is me, you, anyone with a car. They just give their percentages to Uber, and then Uber sends them customers through the app on the phone, and it's paid by your credit card and PayPal, But yeah, he needed a Uber, so I had to get him a hold of a Uber driver. So that is where I am at with that, and back on the show. Don't know if my one good friend was. I know I had Kingdom in here, but he was on the road, so he probably got to his destination. But thank you for that quick time you did stop by and hit that thumbs up. If I was to get any other up in the kingdom, so viewers, thank you. And now for those who will watch this on the replay, I believe I left off how I had the fight 7-5 for Parker. I had him winning 12, 11, and 10, and 1 and 2. And I believe the scorecards were like pretty. I believe one scorecard was like 117, 111. Now, in those rounds, I had it 7-5. And if you can possibly make it, I could see a draw. But I can understand. I don't know about the 117, 111. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many rounds that is. What is that? Because 116, 112 is what? That's like a 9-3. 117, 111. Is that a 9-3 round? Damn, I don't know if he wanted a 9-3. But I could see how someone could reverse it and give it 7-5 for Parker. You could easily make it a draw and flip 2 rounds. That I can see it, but I gotta admit I was surprised. I should say I could see it. I could understand it, and because I guess if I understand it, I could see it too. Just running my ass in circles and shit. Um, Parker was being outworked by the volume of Williams, but you know Williams' shot wasn't like rocking him, wobbling him, leaving him discombobulated. It wasn't no really like whoa shit. Especially with the guy only having one damn arm, and it was very obvious nothing was coming back from the left. And Parker, and Williams just couldn't really wobble. It couldn't put him down at least for fucking since the third round, one armed guy. And then Parker's shots were, for one, the jab was kept landing for sure. And whatever one shot he was throwing, it was a pretty clean shot compared to the just volume of work of Williams. Some of it was hitting nothing, arm. It was being muscling Parker to the ropes. I know. So I gave it to him just for that. The volume of just controlling the fight, throwing the volume of punches. Some that did land, but they gave it to Parker for the more accurate, I guess, point scoring shots. They could have been the harder one. They could have been, but Williams just ring generalship. Or you could say Parker was using that one-handed. He was on that retreat the whole fight, so he had to use the ring. he had to use the ring. And like I said, and for Williams not to be able to cut him off successfully, corner him and knock him out, like this is a one-armed man, and you couldn't corner him. So obviously that lets you know Parker has some great ring generalship going on. He wins that battle if Williams couldn't cut him off. Offensively, how do you keep a smugger, a bull? I think Williams, from what I understand, from what I watch, he's a low class bully pressure fighter, you know, and he couldn't get the job done. So Parker was doing something with one hand. So does that mean he was winning? Did that automatically check and give him the offensive box? So if that is, that means he's winning ring generalship and offensive box. That's two. Defensively, he didn't get knocked out. He only had one arm. Does he win the defensive battle with his ring generalship? Then, once you start factoring all those in, and not just the eyeball of the fist or the glove touching the opponent, then maybe you can understand, like, okay, Parker won that fight. If you're gonna really judge it like that, or you're just gonna look at the fight and what you saw with your eyes and be like, nah, I think Williams won that. Because that's what I saw. Williams won. I had 7-5. But like I said, if you break the fight down and you start really thinking about it, he didn't get knocked out. Parker, that is, with one arm. So that lets you know he covered the shit out the ring. He had to win the ring generalship battle. Defensively, he didn't get knocked out with one arm. Did he get hit a lot? Yeah, but he had to do better defense compared to Williams, who was getting hit with one arm. If Williams was not able to get in and stop him, that lets you know Parker had the offense going. So if you put, like I said, put all those in, you got a winner in Parker, who is the WBA number 9. So obviously he's gonna move up in the rankings. And Williams, who was number 11. See, now when it comes to the UK rankings, I had to go. I'm just according to the box rec, so don't really know like the British belt rankings and all that stuff. But number 11 was Williams. Number 7 was Parker in the super middleweight. And obviously, I know you got Rocky Feldon, you got Kellum Smith, you got John Ryder. They were like in the top 7 and up. I forgot what other names I might know in the super middleweight, but those are the ones that just freshly off my mind who I know. And the low guy I saw in the rankings, but he just was victorious. Zach Chile. He was like number 23 or something like that. So I don't know where Williams is going to go from here. The fighters that I know, fuck, but Ryder's over there trying to get he did become the Mando for the super middleweight Kellum Smith champion, right? The super WBA champion. So Ryder's not going to fight a number 7. So then we move on into a little bit of I guess in the boxing highlights that I saw. Ricky Burns is going to come back and fight Scott Cardle. In just yesterday's episode, we talked about a fighter who I thought was a Ricky Burns 2.0. And that is Anthony Crolla. I think he's a better version of Ricky Burns. And I also picked him to get knocked out. And Ricky Burns, I forgot who he last fought, man. But it's a couple. He just didn't look it, man. I think the crowd knows it. We all know it. But we're just hoping he gets that nice. Well, I don't hope nothing, because like I said, I don't have no attachment to Ricky Burns. I haven't. He's not like a Lara to me. I didn't grow up. I watched a lot of Lara fights over here. You know, that I watched all his fights since basically like right before Paul Williams or one fight before. And I started watching Lara, and it was on fucking free TV. So I don't have no connection with Ricky Burns. So to me, it looked like Ricky Burns can't take it no more. His damage shield is shattered. You know, his punch resistance. You know, I give Anthony Corolla. I think he could take a little more, but I see these two guys. They just can't take shots anymore. They rely on a little bit of craft, you know, body punching here and there that they can still muster up, and some movement. But I think Corolla or Burns, tough, hard punching, and the pressure gets to them, they're gonna fold. From what I've seen, I know Corolla just lost a lot of Linares, and it's hard to say, but just his body language is in those fights, especially the second one. Ricky Burns' body language in the last couple fights, even though I can't remember who he's fought him, but he hasn't shown that confidence. He hasn't been carrying confidence through his body language in the ring. So that fight has been added to the undercard of the Bellew and Usyk. It took me a while to pause. I'm like, what do they call Bellew? A lot of people, Baloo. Baloo. It's always funny to hear fucking people calling that Tony Baloo. Tony Baloo. I wonder, does he get used to it? He just fucking like, all right, whatever. Or he just fucking gets like, no, my name is not Baloo. It's Bellew. Fucking Baloo. You know, I wish there was someone here entertaining this crowd, because right now I'm just talking to an empty mass. But that's how the show will get grown. If you, like I said, if you watched part one and I had to stop the show, come back to part two, or you just go straight into part 2A with like some weird one, but it is longer, so why not go into it? But if you come in straight into this one, you can follow the show at Twitter at RRTB Show, at RRTB Show. So again, a live show talking to the masses of no one. It's gonna feel good if the show grows. You know, do a couple of these shows. If it gets no reviews, then hey, don't do the shows. Now, talking about that Williams fight, we go to the zone card itself. Now that the card is for all the weight classes are full besides the cruiserweights, you know, so we won't talk about them. But on the last quarterfinals, you had uh, the super lightweights, Taylor taking on Ryan Martin, and the bantamweight. Well, I should say the WBC silver super lightweight champion Josh Taylor taking on Ryan Martin, and you had the WBA super bantamweight champion and Ryan Burnett taking on the veteran Nonita Donaire. And also on the line was the vacant WBC, but I want to say Diamond bantamweight champion. And like I said, and how I look at the Diamond belt is the WBC hands it out for like what they think are important matches. Like, wow, like this is not important matches because they just fucking make up a belt for that. But a highly championship belt match, but it's not for a belt. So they give you that diamond ship belt, and then from there. I like to say it's like if you're a WWE fan, a wrestling fan, that diamond belt turns into the money in the bank. You can almost cash in a diamond belt in the WBC for a title shot. You know, because when there's no like really good fighter, the WBC will call their diamond champion and give him a like, okay, bow, fight, or if there's no other fight and they don't want to give the diamond belt his opportunity at the championship, they'll make the diamond belt guy fight his fucking belt against some guy who they think, okay, this guy might be a good challenger for our champion. And it's usually like fighters sometimes as their it's kind of their way of fighting people outside their brackets. You know, it's the way it's kind of how like a WBC fighter can fight an IBF guy. Thank you for joining in, whoever you are. We're discussing the purpose of the diamond belt, the WBC diamond belt, considering that it was on the line between Nonito Donaire and Ryan Burnett. Obviously, Burnett's WBA bantamweight title was on the line, but also on the line was the vacant uh, WBC WBC Diamond Bantam belt. And we're trying to say like, what the hell is the Diamond belt? It's a belt where no guy is champion, but you're entertaining enough and you're qualified enough that people might look at you as a champion challenger. So this belt was vacant. You got the champion. Like I said, and it's also the way of WBC getting hold of fighters who's not in their rankings. Just grabbing them real quick, and instead of making them climb the ladder, just grab them. So Donito Donaire, who's a legend, who did his own little thing, they're like, okay, he's worthy of fighting. Who is the WBC bantamweight champion? I mean, bantamweight. Oh, it's vacant. Luis Neri got busted for fucking PED, so no one's that champion. So they're like, okay, we don't know who the WBC bantamweight champion is gonna be. So here's a diamond belt on Donaire, or Burnett could fucking. It's an easy unify in the future because right now they have no bantamweight champion, so they're just. It's kind of like a money in the bank. Okay, if they're number one and mandatory for the WBC title fight comes out to be shit, they're like, okay, number one and number two, you guys sucked. You got to fight our diamond champion. We gave him the belt because he puts on special fights. The diamond belt is for special fights. Now this special fighter is gonna. We'd rather have this. We'd rather have this entertaining fighter become champion because you're not the diamond belt quality. You get it? It's kind of. I went a little off topic, but I had to talk about what a diamond belt is because again, Nonito Donaire, by defeating Ryan Burnett, became the WBA super middleweight champion. Not super middleweight, the WBA bantamweight champion, but also he picked up the WBC diamond. So I wondered, is that diamond belt is going to be on the line throughout the whole tournament? Because you figure like we're going to go into the Ryan Burnett match and Donington in there eventually, but we're going to talk on the way too many belts before too long. Every fighter will have. See, that's where a lot of people hate me. I fucking dig the belts, bro. I really dig the belts. And when used properly and followed, you know why I think the belts suck, my friend? Honestly, it's because of people like me. It's us fans. It's like I said, it's half us fans, and it's the organizations not properly explaining the process of how they works. Obviously you go. I know UK. This is the WRT Boxing Show, the UK, up in the kingdom. Thank you for supporting it. The UK is pretty damn good. From the year and a half I created this show and learned some UK boxing, you guys, the fan base gives pride and respect in the regional and the local belts, like the southern areas and the Hampshires, I think it's called. I know Yard had it, Dubois had it, but everyone just like I said, in my year and a half, those are like the two big names I recognize. Like, okay, the small belts. That's just like a little black strap and shit. But then you got your British and your European title, but like those fights be meaning shit. Like this is for the British Commonwealth champion, lightweight champion. Those motherfuckers be going at it, dude. Like that means something to them. Then the Lonsdale belt, is that the British belt, the rainbow one, the Lonsdale. That is a cool ass belt. I just don't know if it fits anybody. It's a small ass belt, but it's cool. But motherfuckers be fighting for that. The fans, they acknowledge the belt. Like how deep and big. I don't know how you UK fans honor those British titles and the Londell's belt and the southern areas, but they get acknowledged. Over here in the States, no one's giving a fuck about the uh, NABF title, the North American Boxing Federation. No one's caring about the North American Boxing or the NABO, the NABA, the NABF. If we over here in the States, and then it will lead to the worldwide belts though. But if we got pumped up, okay, this is our North American champion. But if you look in the rankings, people are constantly getting them. They're constant and follow a North American boxing champion, whether it's a boxing affiliation, boxing organization, boxing association. Follow one of those NAB belts over here in America, and you'll see that motherfucker climb the ranks with all these weird belts. But they don't pump them up. And then for the weird few around the world that gets those scattered belts, like for instance, Rocky Fielding, over here, that over there, that dude, he went up, he climbed the ladder, he got all those damn belts. I know that part. For like I said, the show's created a year and a half ago. And I may not have seen that many Rocky Fielding fights within a year and a half, but researching for the 2 fights I've covered for him on this show, I researched about 5 other fights. So I've seen a total of about 7 to 8 Rocky Fielding fights. I know the work he put in, his up and down little one around a blooper on his thing, but the up and down, getting the belts. I know he put in the work, but over here, it's just Canelo's fighting some bum. And I think you guys acknowledged that Fielding put in work, got those belts. And over here, it's not acknowledged. It's not acknowledged at all. No one, the Intercontinentals and the Continental belts, like I said, no one likes those belts. And by your comment, you said there's too many belts. The reason why I think those belts are so damn cool, if it was explained properly, and it gets a cool ass motherfucking concept. And this is how boxing, it's made for boxing to expand, to help it expand. That's what all these belts are for. So you figure, obviously, the easiest one, I will explain it because it's easy on the map for my low sales right now. Okay. In the United States, you have obviously the NABF belt. You grab that belt, the nice little regional, and then from there, you get whatever little. Well, those are like sisters and brothers. The NABF is the sister of I want to say the IBF. So if you get the NABF, you're gonna crack into like the top 20, top 15 of the IBF, and then from the IBF 15, you can grab a continental, an international, or a national. And where the difference in those belts, the continental, obviously, you can fight. If the North America, you could fight anyone in the United States, you fight anyone in Mexico, and you fight anyone in Canada. The continental, you can travel from that continent. They all touch each other. So you fight on the North America, and then you got the international. That's for when for instance, Europe got all those fucking countries in it. You can go across a country's borderline, and you can fight other countries in a continent. Now, if you want to, and like I said, that is international, the international champion. He could become. He fights against countries on a continent. Now, if you want to get the continental belt and not the international, the continental belt. That's if you want to go from. Um, I guess I'm trying to think of my fucking geography here on the map. So you got Europe. If I want to go from Europe to Asia or Russia, Asia, something like that, I can cross continents, borders. You know, then I could go to other. I could go from continent to continent if they have a border. You know, that international. I could go through all the countries. I could cross border countries, cross the border line of countries on a single continent. If I want to cross into another continent and say I'm a badass, I need the continental belt. Now, say I want to say, you know what? I'm a badass in the United States. I want to go whoop someone's ass in Australia. I need the intercontinental belt. That allows me to cross a country's borderline that has to be crossed over water. So I got my continental belt. I went from United States to Canada to Mexico. I crossed those borders. Now I want to go whoop someone's ass in Australia, Asia, but I can't defend this belt over in those countries. Only in these three continents. But if I get my intercontinental belt, I could prove to more countries I'm a badass. Now, if I want to get if I just want to start whooping countries' ass, lots of them, I need that international. That means I came from United States. I went into Europe. I started fucking beating people in fucking Belgium, Italy, France, all those borders that I could cross without water. It's a little weird, but that's how the belts work. And when you start getting fighters like that, you start seeing like, okay, this dude is bad. He's holding it down in these countries. If it's given the platform and if it's talked about properly, you could really pump up fighters. And like I said, and you could shake, like I said, you can shake a lot of people out, all the bullshit. For instance, is the Highland that Jamar Charlo beat up. You can shake those guys out, And for instance, you can have high caliber people, What is this? NBT Boxing is an intercontinental champion. He's been schooling you on Twitter. Oh man, no, I am not a violent one. NBT Boxing is a bully. He's a bully. He's a bully. He's a. I won't lower my good common man skills to a bully as NBT. Good guy, but he needs like a Snickers bar or something. Dude, you're a bully, NBT. I won't stop the show though. I almost got emotional right now. See, how dare you? How dare you do NBT? You got people knowing out here you're out here bullying me. Fucking ass. Fucking ass. That NBT is a good guy. The guy is comical. Good laughs. Yeah, he owns me on Twitter. And if you want to see my Twitter account, thank you for tuning into the show, the RRT Boxing Show with Mr.A, the UK Up in the Kingdom edition, season 2, or episode 2, I should say. You can follow the show on Twitter at RRTB Show, at RRTB Show. Again, these shows are going to be my damnedest to try to be very consistent. Midnight my time, 7 a.m. UK time. Follow the show on Twitter because I usually post like 15 or 20 minute heads up I'm going live. I'm going to start doing one in the States. Um, it's about 7 a.m. in the States, 6:30 in the States. If the UK fans want to get more of a based American talk, like I said, this one I'm trying to just do UK talk. You get it. Um, and for the hell of it, if you guys are just tuning in right now and not the part one, I'll repeat the question again. I'm shooting some ideas in the name for my morning show. I don't know if it's a breakfast and boxing, boxing and coffee, bacon and boxing, and I don't know why, but I'm leaning towards this one again. I'm leaning towards eggs, bacon, and boxing. Again, would you guys tune in for a boxing show that's called eggs, bacon, and boxing? You know, just your opinion. Just your opinion. Now, now that we talked about the belts, you know, talked about those intercontinental champions. Yes, NBT boxing is a perfect example. That was a good one. He is a intercontinental champion because he's been kicking my ass on Twitter. Um, Donaire gets the WBA super bantamweight champion and the diamond belt. That elusive diamond belt, man. That right there is a wild card. Like I said, if it's on because that diamond belt, you don't have to defend that. Only when the WBC says so. But since the WBC is part of this tournament, they got the Muhammad Ali belt at the end. So maybe they do a little bit of sponsorship money with the tournament. So maybe they might put their diamond belt on the line the whole tournament. Again, considering remember WBC, Luis Neris, there's no champion. So Donaire is going to go against Teti. That is that round. And then you have Inui Rodriguez. We got our semifinals set. Now we're going to discuss the semifinals after this Burnett fight. Going into the fight, I mean, we could go to if you didn't watch the breakdown of predictions. If you did, I go a quick little recite of what went down for those who gonna watch this on the playback for the first time and didn't hear what we had to say. I said if what we discussed about if Donaire has any chance to win it, it's going to be within the first 5-6 rounds. His natural stronger shots, he's going to be the one dishing out the harder shots. After that, if Burnett could survive that with a little bit of damage, he'll make Donaire wear down by missing shots, just using energy, making him faint, doing all the stuff to wear down the weight loss Donaire. And going into the fifth round, I had to fight first two rounds, just like we said, Burnett too fast, too feinty, feints in the left and right, outboxing Donaire too fast from the angles. Donaire couldn't quite get him. Round three, even though the first two rounds, Donaire had little flashes in the first two rounds. Nothing serious, but just a flash of action. And it was the onset what was to come. He was able to corner Burnett pretty damn good in 3 and 4. And I gave rounds 3 and 4 to Nonito Donaire, especially round 4. He was really hitting him hard. Round 3, he finished strong. Like he had him in the corner, got him some good right hands, a body shot. He finished round 3 on a strong pace out of nowhere. And 4, he just kind of put Burnett in the corner, and Burnett was eating some right hands. And then, even as Burnett started to fight himself back, he threw that right hand and went to step around, like step off the line, and we saw it. You know, hand extended, he stepped off the line with his right foot, and a freak accident, something went on him. He put his foot down. There was like a second to delay. Like I need to go down. Like spasm went on the knee. I didn't think he was going to get up, to be honest. I really didn't. I thought he was just going to like, hey, the whole world saw some shit just went down right now. If I don't get up, they're going to know this motherfucker's hurt. They know I'm hurt. So I can stay down because I'm fucking hurt and hurry up and see what's wrong with me. Or can I think I could fight through this? He got up, he moved a couple times, threw himself on the ropes. And you could see at first, like, Nonito Donaire, like, he took like a 3 second hesitation. Like, do I hit him? Like, do I go soft on you, bro? And like, and then like Brunel gave him that look like I'm fighting, like fight me, motherfucker. Like I'm not gonna give up on you. Like I'm not quitting. And Donaire's like, all right, I'm gonna start bombing on you, dude. Try to bomb on him. Like, dude, I can't, because it was like 30 seconds left, 30, 20 seconds. It was hard for Nonito to sell that. Like, I'm not gonna beat the shit out of a defensive person. He could have done it, but 20 seconds would have looked weird. But the round ended, and Brunette hobbles back to the corner. And he came and sit down. Like Booth had to like ease his ass into that thing, and he was whispering something in his ear, like, dude, like, hey, don't worry about it. Don't be ashamed of losing this thing. Well, we gotta stop it. And you could just see like Brunette's pain in his eyes. He was down. He was when they were announcing that the stoppage 1 second into the fifth because he's unable to continue and new champion and all that good stuff. And while they're announcing that stuff, the camera was on the face of Burnett and his eyes were just defeated. He was like, you don't know what was hurting more, his like upper right cheek, lower back, where it's like between his right cheek and his lower back, like somewhere on that hip area. So what was hurting more, right that spot or his just fucking pride? His eyes were just glazed but with no tears. He was hurting bad. But Brunette is done, out of the tournament. The shock filler, the fight filler, Nonito Donaire pulls off the upset, the biggest upset in the tournament so far. And he advances to Zolani Teti. And how will that fight go down between two long reach jabbers, southpaws, body work, feet work? I believe what's going to win that fight is going to be Zolani Teti's feet. If he's going to win, it's going to be because of his feet. Now, before we talk about the other bantamweight, Rodriguez and Nui, the replacement fighter, Paul Butler, he won that bout against Johan Boyax. I was so disappointed in that fight, man. So disappointed in that fight. Paul Butler should have knocked Johan the fuck out. Considering this is, okay, not only is it a reserve spot for the great, precious Muhammad Ali trophy, the way they blow that shit up, you're basically handed the spot. You got to beat Johan. You're a former champion. Who the fuck is Johan? Oh, he's the former guy who got blasted out by Inui. That's his name to fame. And they're giving you him as a reserve opponent. Can you imagine if if Paul Butler's back went out, Johan is a replacement in the WBS? Can you serious? Can you fucking kid? Like, it's wow. That was Paul Butler's competition. And he did, after dominating the fight round after round, he does not finish him. And like I said this in the post-fight segment, and I say it here. In the States, I have my little bantamweight. I like Joshua Greer Jr. Like I said, starting this show, it opened me up. It got me to follow more weight divisions. That's what the Double RT Boxing Show is about. We cover 1 through 15, you know? So I started watching more divisions, you know, and I was like, okay, bantamweights. I discovered Brunette. Ryan Brunette, and the reason and the way I discovered Ryan Brunette is Burnett. The very first show we had right here on the Double RT Boxing, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of all this other bullshit um, out there. I like boxing too much. I'm gonna just make my own damn show. And you like boxing when you get to find that one fighter and you just watch their whole career. I like this guy. He's 1-0. I watched this fight. I'm like, he's a UK fighter. It gives me great opportunity to follow that dude's career. I always have something to talk about, and I could just build from him on the across the pond, and then I could do my thing on the States. And that one fighter, that'd be cool if there's a lot of people in here. They're like, oh shit, let's trivia. There's 2 people in here. Can any of you guys take a wild guess of who I started my uh, show on? Not just my UK fan show. I started the whole Double RT Boxing show on a UK fighter. At that time, he was 1-0, and now I think he's under 12 fights. I think, yeah, I think. You know, maybe you guys can't fucking don't care, or you guys can't type. But anyway, it would have been cool if there's a lot of people. It would have worked. But I started the show with Josh Kelly. I like motherfucker's awkward. He has a cool style, cool look to him, nice little cockiness in the ring, and he's a winner. He's winning 1-0. He's good fan base behind him. And then followed him from like 2-0. I'm like, oh shit. He has this little dude who fights just like him. You know, I was seeing them in the gym sparring, doing all that chicken dancing shit to each other. I'm like, oh shit, there's another little dude like this. Who's this guy who's moving like him? Oh, Ryan Burnett. Oh, Dubois, not Dubois, my friend. It was Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly is the very first video I've ever made. As I was fucking laying in the dark, I was just laying in the dark and shit. It looked like a weirdo. But you don't think Josh Kelly will make it? You don't think so, huh? I don't know. I don't know, man. Do you? What do you think is the top? Do you think he's gonna make it? Because right now, I think he's like the WBA. Is he like number 5? I think he's like number 9 or 7, somewhere between there, in the welterweights. Do you think he can beat a Luis Collazo? Do you think he can beat a Jesse Vargas, a Devin Alexander? Do you think Josh Kelly can beat a Lamont Peterson, Andre Berto? Who else is in that middle? You think he's a Hearn hype job? I don't know. I don't know. I think Josh Kelly has pretty good reflexes. I think he has good power, good speed. I like the Adam Booth style. Um, it works with Burnett. I just don't know if Burnett has the power that Kelly has. Burnett has to rely a lot more on defense, and that's why it's like I said. That's why I have Donaire win the last 2 rounds. We'll see. Kelly won't win a legit world title. Now that might make a little sense considering the welterweight division. You have WBC Sean Porter. Can Josh Kelly beat him? I don't think so. it'd be a good fight, but I think Sean Porter might just do enough in that one. I think Josh Kelly's a better boxer than Sean Porter, but that engine in Sean Porter, Garcia, I can see Kelly upsetting Garcia. I can see that. Um, then you got the WBA Keith Thurman. I got Keith Thurman beating Josh Kelly. Manny Pacquiao, the regular champion. Oh man, if Horn can do it, I can see Kelly doing it. I can see Kelly doing it because you need feet movement to beat Manny Pacquiao, and I think Josh Kelly has the feet and enough power to win a point decision against Manny Pacquiao. Um, the IBF, Earl Spence. I don't see Kelly beating Earl Spence. And then you got the WBO. I don't see Crawford losing to Josh Kelly. So he might not win a welterweight legit title, but not because he doesn't have the talent to. I just don't think he has the talent to beat the champions right now. Now, if they start knocking themselves off and have to vacate through injuries or a PED scandal and the belts go fucking into the galaxy like the Infinity Stones, then perhaps one of them might land on the waist of Josh Kelly, like the way, kind of like random shit how Anthony Joshua got all his belts. For Fury got stripped. One randomly landed on fucking Charles Martin through a Glasgow knee getting ripped. So fucking Charles Martin wins the belt like Nonito Donaire. And then that was the WBA was a vacant one just given out there. And then the Parker won the vacant one from Andrew Ruiz. And a whole bunch of B's and C fighters had belts. And fuck, dude, Anthony Joshua comes away with his A vacuum cleaner and just sucks all that shit up. So Kelly might get belts like that. Some weak competition might, like I said, if all those belts get vacated, some weak competition might pick him up, and Kelly probably a swoop on one like that way. But I think Kelly, I think he's the goods. I think he's more of the goods. Well, I won't say more of the goods, but as of right now, I am more sold and confident, and I could speak more higher, I should say, as a fan. I'm not a UK citizen, so maybe you guys speak highly in different ways. But between Anthony Yard and Josh Kelly, I would say like, hey, I think Josh Kelly is more the thing than Yard. You know, he seems to be fighting a little better competition, and when he's not fighting better competition, he's getting them out of there like the way we expect him to. You know, like Yard, the beast. He don't be beasting out on people to me as much as I think he should. That's just my point of view. Like I said, and that was Burnett and Donaire fight. And yeah, Inui and Rodriguez is the other. So the other quarterfinal. That is tough. I'm going back and forth on that one every day. I first had it when the tournament was first announced. The whole thing. What was running through my head first was the grand champion. I had, well, let's just hold on to that first. Firstly, I was thinking an upset. Kelly won't win. Yard wins the WBO title in 2019. Now that I can see. I can see Yard getting that WBO title. Because Elder Alvarez, I think he could beat him. You know, I think he could. I thought Anthony Yard could have defeated Sergey Kovalev. And I think finally, what's his name, Tooney? I think he was, as Chris Algieri's coach would say, getting ready to let him out the cage. I think they went there to scout Kovalev, knowing like, dude, I think we could beat Kovalev. So I can kindly and slightly agree with you that Anthony Yard will get that WBO title in 2019. If he doesn't at least fight for it in 2019, he ain't no fucking lion, man. He is no lion. What are, man, the odds. Kingdom of Boxing, welcome back, my friend. Hey, are you guys allowed to hit the thumbs up? Can you guys reach that? Can you guys help the show out? You know, if you can. There you go. Thank you. Fucking when this tournament first got announced, I don't know why I had an upset at the stop of my. I didn't think Tetsi was gonna beat Illinois, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, damn it, because I like Mikael Illinois a lot. Alalan, the guy Tetsi defeat, Zolani Tetsi defeat. I like him a lot. I really, really do. But like, dude, his biggest problem is he doesn't throw enough punches. His problem is he's a sharpshooter, and he won't be able to beat Tetsi. So okay, I went with Tetsi. I started thinking realistically, and I had Burnett. So at first I think Alano and Burnett, but then I had Tetsi and Burnett. And in the semifinals, I first had Rodriguez as the tournament was announced. Instantly, I went Rodriguez to win it all. I thought it'd be him and Inui in the finals. But now that the way it's lined up, that Rodriguez and Inui has to fight in a semifinal, do I still feel confident with my dark horse pick? I didn't know he was. Maloney put something to the world, man. He took a beating, but that body attack he did, it showed. Now, of course, anyone gets slowed down by a body attack, but Maloney showed the world that Rodriguez is a different fighter. Just something clicked different. And Inui has a body attack, so I don't know how that one's going to go, man. I do not know. I'm back and forth on that one every day. And then the headliner of the card today, Josh Taylor, the Tarkin Tornado. Yeah, you know, once you start thinking realistically, Tetsi to win it all. I can see that because I think the way to beat Inui is with a tall jab. You need a jab. Because after a while, from what I noticed on Japanese fighting, they all have vicious left hooks. But one little quirk in their style, all Japanese fighters do, they do like a slight leap off their feet to deliver the hooks. Like they don't mind doing it. And I think Tetsu will keep that distance on Inui. But if Nui could get inside, I see him beating the shit out of Tetsu's body. Because that still frame, I mean that skinny frame, it's not going to be a match for Inui's body attack. Maybe his jaw might be a little strong, but Tetsu's body will not hold up against a bomb attack from Inui. But the thing is, will Inui's face hold up to Anetsi's power? So Inui needs the body attack on Tetsu, and Tetsu needs the fucking 1-2 distance attack. Now, back to that Taylor and Martin. It is like I get it. I get it why Martin was in the tournament. And again, the reason why Ryan Martin was in the WBSS tournament is a perfect example of what we talked about earlier, the belts. Because no one knows who the hell Ryan Martin is, but over here he has those best regional belts in the States. He has those North American belts. And that got him enough in the rankings and enough to get in this tournament as an American. You know, the tournament is kind of a desperate for an American fighter just to have one in there. You know, they had Rob Brandt, then they throw in Martin, they threw in Tabiti in season 2. There is no, they need some type of a market reacher. They need something to tap into American soil. So they got Ryan Martin. He got the belts. He got those good high domesticated belts. And the fight itself broke down just like we discussed right here on the Double RT Boxing Show with Mr.A. We broke that fight down. Please, if you guys can, hit the thumbs up if you can. You know, go 3 for 3. Why not? Why not 3 for 3? But we said that whole fight was going to be nothing but movement. The fight is going to be determined by Josh Taylor's feet. That's why I picked him. Ryan Martin could win this fight, but he can't win it in the center of the ring. He has to be chest to chest or have Josh Taylor on the ropes to deliver his body attack. But I was like, I don't think he could deliver. I don't think he could keep Josh Taylor in front of him that long, and it can't push him against the ropes. Time to go to work. Take it out, brother. I know that one. I miss a lot of fights. Enjoy your day. Show is almost over anyway. And the movement. Josh Taylor, he put a big old doubt on everyone's head. Hey, can Regis beat this guy? Because he showed great feet movement. He had angles whenever he was able to escape off the ring. He had Martin guessing what was going to be a feint, what was the punch is going to come. And then, so his feet work was good. Ring generalship, check. His punch selection, never a wasted shot. His speed and power changeup. He went from pity tat 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 up and down the body for like the first 3-4 rounds. And then around rounds 5, he started adding power to the shots, then changing the speeds. And he always, no matter what his little bullshit rat-a-tat-tat combo was, he always finished it with a hard-ass hook to the body. So he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the body. 1, 2, 3 to the body. It was always a hard hook. And eventually those hooks just warmed down. So as we go along and close the show, we're just going to go over in the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series. We have to look forward to, not the cruiserweight, that one's not over yet, but the semifinals of the bantamweights. Zolani Teti taking on Nonito Donaire. Slight favorite in Teti right now. And the other side of the bracket, you have Inui taking on Rodriguez. As of right now, I am slightly favoring Rodriguez. But if anyone's going to change, I think the Rodriguez pick would change and Teti would stay. But right now, slight favorites, Teti and Rodriguez. Over in the super lightweight WBSS tournament, semifinals are Josh Taylor, Tartan Tornado, taking on Ivan the Beast Baranchik. Then you got Regis Prograis taking on Relic. Killy Relic. I'm going with Regis to be too much. Just too much hand speed and power. It's going to be a good couple rounds before Regis just starts dominating that fight. Like after 4 rounds, Regis should start to dominate that fight. Taylor and Baranchik. As much as I like Baranchik, I think he's going to have his moments because he's a wild beast. But the footwork again, the footwork is going to win this fight for Josh Taylor, and then his boxing IQ second. This is Mr. A, the host of the Double RT Boxing Show. Your show. I'm just the host. Remember that, folks. And this is the UK, Up in the Kingdom, episode 2. 2A. Thank you for watching. Follow the show on Twitter at RRTB Show. If you're interested in these shows, I do like a 15, 20-minute tweet to let you know the show's coming. And it said, this is episode 2, midnight my time, 7 a.m. the UK time. Hopefully this thing will work out, folks. Thank you for your time and support.